Asubari Luces. Hi everyone, I'm Mitch and welcome back to the channel. Today Sona and I are going for a drive to see some friends in a village not too far away from Yerevan. It's a place called, I forgot.
Ushi.
Ushi. It's about 35 kilometers away. We're not actually going to show you anything of the countryside apart from what you can see in the camera now, which is not countryside, it's just Sona and I. But the focus of today's video is just to try to explain very quickly in about 5 or 6 minutes 3 things that I think we can do better in Armenia. So the first thing, how I think we can help Armenia to become a better nation of people is we have to stop polluting the earth, which is God's. By that I mean whenever we go out for a drive or out for a walk, we see men in particular throwing things out of the car, plastic bottles, cigarette packets, cigarette butts, cigarette packets, cigarette butts, all sorts of things are flying out of car windows. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. It's as though we don't care about our country. Now, Armenians, I'm speaking to you because I know most of you love your country. So here's an example. I just want to give you a very, very clear and simple example. Would you throw cigarette packets, cigarette butts, plastic bottles on the ground in your own home? Of course you wouldn't, because you respect your home, yes?
Or in Europe. And
you love your wife or your mother or whoever who is looking after this home, and you want to keep it clean. This is normal. But what you're not understanding is that the earth, in particular we're talking here about Armenia, is God's. This is God's house.
Our house.
Why then would we want to pollute the atmosphere, pollute the rivers by throwing rubbish into the rivers? I go down to the Razdan Gorge, which is not far from the Kievan Bridge, and I see this rubbish in the river. Why on earth are we doing that? Look, I'm not trying to pick up on you. I'm talking as a Australian who has adopted Armenia as my homeland. I think you understood that from previous videos.
And you love Armenia very much.
So let's try to put a stop to that. And whenever we see somebody doing that, let's just try in a loving way to show them that this is not the way to treat our beautiful earth. That's number one. Number two is, in my opinion, I think I'm speaking on behalf of Christianity here. We are told in the Bible to be subject unto the higher powers, be subject unto authorities, which means governments, which as an example, basically anybody who is in authority over us, we are to try to do the right thing by, to not complain about them, but to be submissive to, for example, the government. Okay, we have had in the previous 20 years in Armenia, and prior to that the Soviet Union, governments who were not so good. That doesn't mean we shouldn't pray for them, because we're told to pray for them. It's one of the things we should do as Christians. So let's try to rather than complain all the time, oh, Armenia's no good, much better in America. Come on, give me a break. There is no country, there is no perfect country on the earth. There is no greatest country on the earth, like unfortunately America says all of the time. We're the greatest country. Who says? All people on the earth belong to God. So why is there a greatest?
Nation.
I don't understand. We have a small country here. We're trying to rebuild it. We're trying to be positive. If all the time we go around complaining about our government, complaining about, oh, there's no jobs here, how on earth do you think things are going to get better? So my advice, our advice is, please try not to complain and do your best to try and find some work here. It's not that difficult. It may not be the job you want, but we need to try to help and rebuild our country, and also to support our government through our obedience to them when they're doing the right thing, when they're doing the honest thing, and pray for them. So the third thing that I believe we can all do to help Armenia become a better place is to vastly improve our driving habits. Man, I tell you, I was a former police officer. I was taught by exceptional driving instructors who learnt from British police, who were then the best driving instructors in all of the world. What I've seen here is just the complete opposite of good, courteous, careful driving. I know a lot of men who say the same thing to me. Peter, you can't believe, normal Armenian man. He is very nice to talk to, get along with him fine, have some jokes, everything, but when he gets behind the wheel of a car, it's like turning into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's like he completely turns into a, I don't know what, crazy man. So I'm talking particularly to Armenian men who gives us the right to drive a vehicle, which is a weapon, by the way. I was always taught that in the police force. It's a loaded weapon, like a loaded gun. If you're not using it carefully, the way it's intended, you can kill somebody, you can kill yourself, you can injure very badly the occupants in your car, or some pedestrian, or somebody else in another car.
Not car which killing.
We have seen just
killing.
Crazy driving here. Really, really crazy, and changing lanes without indicating, cutting in front of each other, speeding at 100 kilometers an hour over the Kievan Bridge. This is just ridiculous. So you won't find that sort of thing in Australia and in America, because they have controlled that very well. Yes, there are some idiots, of course, as there are all over the world, but we must respect the laws, the road laws. We must learn to drive.
For everybody, everyone.
We must drive carefully and with consideration to all of the other road users.
And always remember, somebody waiting you back home.
Yeah. So that's all we want to say today. I've probably gone a little bit over the 6 minutes that I wanted to talk to you about, but I think these are just 3 things that we can do, we can all do to help Armenia become a nicer place, a safer place for all of us. You know, I'm talking about this because I love you. We love you. And we don't want to see anybody hurt. We don't want to see people, men, dying from lung cancer, heart disease. Sona's poor father died when he was, I don't know, 50 years of age 55. From smoking. So we can all do something here. Okay, so sorry if this was a bit negative. It's not intended to be negative, but just as a help. So it's bye from Mitch. God bless you all, and we'll see you next time.